We begin tonight with the countdown to Election Day. Just 7 days left until the country casts their votes, not just for president, but for Congress, school boards, sheriff's offices, and local courtrooms. And with the nation divided, local election leaders are sharing with ABC 15 they are preparing for potential violence.
ABC 15's Nicole Valdez getting the scoop on what counties are prepared to do if things get tense inside or outside where you plan to vote.
The passion for this year's election is evident. A record number of early voters, events nearly every day. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that election officials are getting ready for just about anything, both at the state level.
There are not any specific threats that we know about.
And locally.
There has been more conversation around this election than in past elections.
Pinal County, for example, has already seen more than 15,000 voters cast their ballots in person. Another 30,000 ballots dropped off at drop boxes, a new option for voters there this year, but thousands more expected to hit the polls on November 3rd. Secretary of State Katie Hobbs and her office outlining the potential for intimidation by observers, even demonstrations outside the polls.
We certainly know that it's a concern for some people. We certainly are paying attention to this.
Now, here are the rules. At a polling place, if you're not here to cast your ballot, this is as close as you can get, 75 feet from the entrance. Now, you may see parties here to support specific candidates or amendments, and that's allowed, but what isn't is intimidation.
The only people that are allowed inside the polls as observers are people who are credentialed observers, which means that they have a letter that's signed by the political party chair. If people show up and say they want to observe or be a poll watcher and they don't have that piece of paper, they're not going to be allowed in. We have partnered with law enforcement across the county and with the state and even with the FBI. So if there are incidents that cross the line into voter intimidation, we will be reaching out to law enforcement to make that stop.
Up in Yavapai County, though, a different perspective.
I don't anticipate anything.
Recorder Leslie Hoffman.
We're going to be vigilant. We've talked to all the marshals. They know what's going on. You know, they're part of the community. They're very aware, and we don't try to worry anybody. We don't try to. Well, the last thing we want to do is fuel anything.
But the threat real enough to draft up a plan. The Secretary of State's office encouraging poll workers to handle all kinds of problems by first using nonverbal techniques. They should try not to cross their arms and speak with a calm voice. It also says poll workers should listen, validate, and address a person's concerns, try to move the situation to a private area, and remind them it's their job to enforce rules to ensure everyone can vote safely. But if things continue and if they start to feel unsafe, that's when they need to call in law enforcement. Now, tomorrow here in Maricopa County, we will see more vote centers open for a total of 90 in-person options available. And by Election Day, that number will be up to 175. Want to know more? You can always email us at yourvote@abc15.com. I'm Nicole Valdez, ABC 15, Arizona.